Hi, Spencer.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you.
Tell me a little bit about your morning so far.
It's been good. It's been busy. My morning's always full of meetings, so it's one thing after another in the morning. And you sneak in a cup of coffee on occasion, but it's always a busy morning.
So before I get into your role at SLS, I'd like to talk a little bit about your introduction to hospitality. I want to know where you're from, what you were like growing up, and the first job you had in hospitality.
Ooh, okay. I'm from San Francisco, born and raised. As a kid growing up, I was big into sports. And then when I got older, I got into cars. I used to work on cars my first job actually was 15 years old. I was working on cars. And honestly, I kind of stumbled into hospitality. It was the Ritz-Carlton San Francisco was opening back in 1991. And I went for a mass hiring and got in line with 3,000 people and did a kind of like a round robin interview. I applied for front office, but the job I got was housekeeping.
Interesting.
So my first job in hospitality was housekeeping.
What made you want to line up for that job?
As a kid, I grew up, San Francisco has some great hotels. Mm-hmm. You know, the old, one is the very iconic, the Fairmont, right? Which was on movies and TV and all that stuff. And I remember as a kid, I used to walk by there on the way to my cousin's house. And I always saw these very regal doormen with the top hats and things like that. And I'm thinking, God, that's a really cool job to have. And it always, for some reason, it always stuck with me. And it was always something that I thought that'd be a cool place to work, you know? And to be honest with you, I fell into a great company at a great time. It was growing very fast. And that company is big on development, internal development. Like they really push internal promotions versus hiring from outside, and so it was a great opportunity for me to really learn and grow in a very developmental environment. Mm-hmm. So and that's how I fell in love with it.
When you started in this hotel, there was no brand recognition, and in 3 years, I mean, this hotel is now synonymous with luxury hospitality. How did you and your team achieve this in 3 years?
I think it goes back to the backbone of what this company is. Mm-hmm. You know, what really drew me to this company is the empowerment and the ability to be creative on our own. Mm-hmm. You know, I put together a good team. We have a fantastic team. And I really don't hold them back from doing whatever they want to do. You know, I truly believe that any idea is a good idea. We talk about it. We don't do things irresponsibly. For me, I'm always keeping the business end in mind, but I don't actually want to stop them from doing anything. You know, and it helps that we have a fantastic product. The owners have been amazing. The rooms are fantastic. The F&B is amazing. The building is iconic now. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of good pieces that kind of came together. The only thing that was always a challenge in the beginning was the location. Okay. Because it's more of an obscure part of Business Bay. But it worked, you know, and people come here. One thing that always shocks me is we have a business lunch in Filia, and the amount of people that come for business lunch, I always think about it, and I tell my team the same thing, because I imagine somebody like you, mm-hmm. working in an office environment, going to your car, so taking the elevator down, going to the garage, pulling your car out of the garage, dealing with the traffic, trying to get to Business Bay, come here, deal with valet parking, and come up for lunch. And the effort that's being made, we have a responsibility to deliver something fantastic. Because you made such a great effort to come here, you know, and yet our business lunch does very, very well. You know, so the team gets that, they understand that, and they appreciate the business that we have, and we take nothing for granted.
That is a very solid point you made, Spencer, because I think about that too as a consumer when I visit a place. In this city, the choice fatigue. So if you choose this spot on that particular day.
You have so many choices.
And you have so many choices, and you had to brave the traffic, and you had to brave the weather and whatever else, and you get there. You do want to feel like you've made the right choice.
Yeah, it was worth it, you know? So I agree.
Speaking about teams, talent in this industry is a challenge for everybody. Not just attracting fantastic talent, but also retaining them. How do you manage this? Because you say you've built a fantastic team, so tell us a little bit about the strategy behind how you did that.
I lead with my heart. And the guys that I work with, they know that. They know that I care. I care about the people that work around me because I've done the job. You know, I understand the I've never lived in staff accommodation. I've never gone to that extent, but I understand the sometimes the menial task of cleaning a room or busting a table and things like that. You know, and so I try and put the staff first. You know, but I lead through my team. I lead through the leadership because I never want to take away their ability to lead. We do a lot to make sure that we recognize the staff. We do a lot of events. We have employee of the month, leader of the quarter. We have parties. We have Christmas parties. We have things like that. And we have picnic. We have barbecues during the summer. So we have all these, and we have sports activities. We have all these things to kind of keep the vibe positive. It's a tough job, and everyone knows it's a tough job. But I think my impression is I like to have fun. So, and the team likes to have fun. So they deliver an amazing product, but they enjoy what they do, and they enjoy the teamwork and the vibe that they get in the hotel. And I think they're all very proud to say they work for SLS, and I think that makes a big difference.
If I were to ask some of your staff what kind of leader you are, what do you think they would say?
I think I'm very approachable. I think this is one thing, and I'm very transparent. They know that I listen, and that there are challenges. I mean, it's not a perfect environment. You know, there's things that I cannot make. You know, I can't make your traffic easier. I can't.
Right.
You know, we have a profitability and we have a financial expectation that we have to deliver on.
Of course.
But we talk about that. You know, and I think the employees understand that we're doing everything in our power to make the environment as best we can for them. You know, and everything else is down to, listen, if we made $1 billion more, I mean, we can spend $1 billion more, you know, kind of thing. But I think if how they would describe me as somebody that's very approachable and on the ground, I'm always available. I'm always walking the property, and I have very much an open door for everything. I do every month a kind of a coffee with the GM kind of thing, just to hear their feedback and I action on it. So
that's excellent.
yeah, thank you.
I want to switch to sustainability. I know that you have pretty much eradicated plastic throughout the hotel, but what I find really fascinating is you've now managed to measure your food waste. Can you walk me through the process of that?
It's a program. It's a program. We have a there's a machine on it's basically like a scale on our trash that's actually measuring everything that we're putting in, you know, and the idea is that we're going to reduce the amount of food waste that we want to do. So we look at everything differently. Even our breakfast buffets, everything we look at differently. And we're constantly what we call menu engineering. So we're looking at what's moving, what's not moving, and we change and go with the flow on that.
Do you get like monthly reports or quarterly reports on that?
We have to report to corporate.
Right.
Yeah.
If you can recall, and if you can't, it's not a problem, but what is some of the most fascinating things that you have seen that is the highest food waste item on those reports? Or
mainly your breakfast, like breakfast bread.
Breakfast,
like that. Yeah,
right.
There's a lot of things that are being thrown away.
Right.
You know, because there's always a balance of making sure a presentation looks nice.
Yes.
And food waste. You know, it's very tricky. So probably the biggest thing that we found was the amount of breads that we throw away.
Wow, okay. It's interesting because the next question that I wanted to ask you is how, this is a very luxurious hotel, it's known for that now at this point. How do you balance the sustainability and increase sustainability efforts without disrupting the luxury that guests are so used to experiencing?
It's not as difficult as you would think. I think society now, they understand where everyone is going, right? I mean, there was a time, like I said, I've been in hospitality for a long time, right? And there was a time where when I stayed in a hotel, you had individual bottles for shampoo, conditioner, bath gel, things like that. And I would balk at the idea of a pump.
Okay.
Right? Because you question how sanitary it is and things like that. But I think now people understand it. It's not as difficult as you'd imagine because people understand that everyone has a responsibility. Yes, maybe not everyone buys into it.
Sure.
But I think people now respect it and they understand it. So it's not that difficult. one of the biggest things, most aggressive things that we did, it was actually with we created our own water bottling plant in the building.
That's cool.
So when we opened, we had plastic bottles like everybody else, and we made the decision to do a water bottling plant, which wasn't cheap. And then we had to buy the bottles and hire the staff, and so we have guys that actually
do training
all day. They're no, these are for the rooms, just for the guest rooms.
Okay.
We're not selling them. This is just
for the rooms.
Just to eliminate plastic bottles.
Right. You have any more sustainable initiatives coming up?
Carbon footprint is the one that we're working on now, reducing the carbon footprint.
Okay.
Yeah, and that one's a really tricky one.
That is very challenging.
Yeah, because like even our AC is from Empower, right? And we can't control Empower, right? So there's a lot of elements that because of DWA and all that stuff, we can't actually affect. You know what I mean? So that one's a tricky one, and because we're a share use tower.
Okay.
We're not just a hotel.
It's a residence, exactly.
We have hotel apartments. Yeah. So it's a very tricky one to overcome. But we're working on it.
Okay, I look forward to hearing how you're getting on with that. It's interesting.
Me too.
It's really interesting. I always find it so fascinating and empowering, really, when a single establishment is able to achieve an impact of any kind when it comes to sustainability, because it's like a report and a reference for everybody else.
Correct.
So we can use it as a case study, if anything. I want to go to luxury now.
Okay.
So the plethora of luxury that exists in Dubai, and that term and standard of luxury keeps elevating and elevating. Out of all the competitors that you have to deal with on a daily basis, how do you keep the standards high? How do you keep the standards high but also keep guests happy?
I think that like I said, we're fortunate. We have a great product, right? And if you really want to compare us to another luxury hotel, at the end of the day, you're not going to find it in service. You're only going to find it in product. Okay. Right? Whether it's a different amenity in the room, a more fancier label, you know, whatever, decor, flowers, whatever. But you're never going to find, for us, the service difference. You know, because what we do here is we do make it very, I know it sounds very cliche, but we do make it very personalized. Okay. And because the staff has so much empowerment, I leave it to them to create ways of engaging with you on a more personal level, something that you actually talk about and tell people about and remember and post, you know? So it's, from a luxury, I just don't stop my staff from doing what they think they want to do. You know, most of the amenities or welcome amenities or recognition ideas, it all came from them. I'm not like some amazing think tank. I just allow them the empowerment to do whatever they want to do.
I imagine that comes with a lot of trust as well between you guys.
It does, and it's training. You know, and we have. I know one of the questions was about actually training. We have an amazing induction process, and our mission is nurture a playground where lifestyle ignites your inner cool. Oh,
that sounds fantastic.
And
ignites your inner cool.
Ignites your inner cool.
I quite like that.
And our values is have fun, make friends. Play to win. Tell it like it is. I've got your back, so the staff always knows that we all back each other up. And right here, right now. So stay in the present.
I quite like that. So you said there's an incredible induction when people start at SLS. Can you tell me a little bit about what they go through?
Yeah, I mean, it's more of the first day is more of an education on the company and who's who in the company. And then the second day is more about understanding the brand and understanding the values and the mission and the vision. And we don't have a lot of SOPs. We're not big on you know, like the company that I mentioned before that I started in the industry, everything was documented. We had a very strict rule on what we could say. We weren't, we are ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen, right? Which is a great quote, was a great methodology, but then it gets very stiff very fast. You know, and one of the things about SLS is that it's not stiff, it's more relaxed. Everyone is pretty much on a first name basis. You know, some people call me Mr. Spencer, some people don't. It doesn't matter to me, you know. I don't have a preference either way. It's not like I'm insulted because you didn't call me Mister. And I enjoy a level playing field. You know, I don't like a lot of hierarchy.
Hierarchy, yeah. I think it also makes for freedom, makes for great creativity.
Well, I think everyone knows that we're in the trenches together.
Yeah, yeah, that's nice. That's a good thought. How do you manage to keep your service and operations on par? Because that is not an easy task.
We make mistakes. But what I want from the team is to make a decision.
Okay.
You know, and what I don't like, even if they make a mistake because they made a wrong decision, it's not detrimental. You know? It's not like we're doctors and somebody's going to die because we made the wrong decision. You know, chances are we gave them the wrong room, or we gave them the wrong key, or whatever it may be, right? It's never going to be something that's going to be life-shattering. You know, everything can be fixed. But what I never want is I don't want to hear guests saying that that the staff was unfriendly, uncaring, never got back to me, things like that. You know, I want to make sure that no matter what, we deliver the service. Even if we don't even have an answer, at least get back to the guests and say, you know, we're still working on it. Just give us a few more minutes. You know, and it's to make sure that the guest doesn't feel forgotten. Again, it's training. They do a lot of departments do quizzes. They do tests on their own. Like sometimes as I'm walking around, I'll see like staff in Karna. They're all sitting down with a piece of paper doing something, and what they're doing is they're being quizzed on what's happening in the hotel today, how much is it for this, and where can I get, how much is it for a spa treatment, you know, because I see the staff here as my greatest salespeople, you know, because they have more access to the guests than I will ever have. They have more access to the guests than my sales team will have, you know, and how they deliver sells what this property is all about. And they have so much more opportunity every minute of the day, right? That's a very, very good point. And again, it goes back to loyalty, not loyalty, but them feeling a part of the brand, them feeling a part of the hotel. So it's much easier to train an engaged employee than the trained employee that this is just a 9-to-5 job and they don't really care about where they work. Yeah. You know, because they're emotionally attached to it. How are you attracting new young talent? We work very closely with a lot of hotel schools in Switzerland. Okay. And they come, we sponsor some of the events and training that they have here. And then we take them on as interns. Okay. So we get them fresh out of school. Fun. Yeah. Make friends, have fun, right? Exactly. And then again, we try and promote a lot from within. So you get a lot of talent that's just homegrown in a sense. What is your favorite part about this job, Spencer? And I don't mean specifically SLS, but just being a general manager in hospitality. For me, it's seeing people achieve things that they didn't think they could achieve. That's because beautiful. I did it too. I never thought I would. I remember when I was wearing a uniform and I was a night cleaner at the time. You know, I was cleaning all of the public areas and the public area bathrooms and locker rooms and restaurants. All the areas that could not be cleaned during the day, I was cleaning. And I remember in the morning when I would see these executives walking in, I was like, you would think they could walk on water. Right. They were the coolest people on earth. And I said, yeah, one day I would love to, I'd love to, you know. And it was the fact that somebody a long time ago took me under the wing and supported me and helped me. So my satisfaction is giving that back. You're paying it forward. And helping, yeah. But I'm trying to do it for everyone in the hotel, you know. So. Incredible. So Spencer, I have 3 fun little questions for you. Sure. Or 2, let's see how this goes. Before we wrap up this interview. Okay. So I read that you love to travel, and I wanted to ask you that if you could travel to only one destination for the rest of your life, what would that be? Home. Home, which is? San Francisco. San Francisco, okay. If you could swap jobs with anybody in this hotel for just one day, who would you pick and why? A DJ. I think it's a cool job. I was not expecting that. I think it's a cool choice. Job. Very, very good choice. I think it's a cool job. I think it's a very cool job. I watch these guys up there and they the entire crowd is gravitating towards them, and they're having the best time, and they're creating energy and a vibe that, you know, is untangible, but it's just.
You nailed that question. Yeah. You really nailed that question. I didn't see it coming. Now, looking ahead, tell me what exciting projects or plans you have up your sleeve for SLS.
We're going to be opening a new restaurant soon. I can't announce it yet.
Exciting.
So that's a big thing. We're working more and more. We just had an event called Taste of SLS, which is our second year. It's very well received in the market. And now we are working on, we're already started working on next year's Taste of SLS. And then New Year's Eve, we have a big party planned for New Year's Eve. There'll be a renovation coming up soon. That'll be coming up. But yeah, that's about it.
What will you be renovating?
We probably have new rooms.
Okay.
New rooms, yeah. Because unfortunately we run a very high occupancy.
Okay.
And then the room just needs some touching up. They need some TLC.
Okay. And before we close, a little bit about the F&B that you have on offer at SLS. Can you tell me about the different offerings you have? And if you can, which one's your favorite? I know that's unfair because that's like asking a dad which is his favorite kid, but.
Well, we're in Karna now. Karna is our Dario Cucini restaurant. This would probably be my favorite.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a meat guy.
Yeah.
So I like the. But this is an amazing restaurant and consistently well received in the market. We have Fila, which is our Italian Italian Mediterranean restaurant.
I think that's fair.
And it's I think everyone knows now, but it's a female-run, female-led restaurant, which I think it's a genius
concept.
Culture that they created there. I just actually came from there, and I'll show you a video later, but I'm amazed they have so much positive energy. They're singing and dancing, and they're just doing a morning briefing.
Wow.
They're just singing and dancing in the morning briefing, you know, and but that restaurant is fantastic, and consistently, you know, I'll do 200-300 covers a night every day, you know, so it's a good, busy restaurant.
Wow, yeah.
And it's held on, you know, it's the third year we've been recognized by Michelin.
It's done very well.
So it's fantastic.
You speaking about the singing and dancing, the joy that you see in the morning. I feel like in this industry, you have to love people and you have to love this industry, otherwise you won't survive.
Well, you shouldn't be in this business.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine,
you need to find something else.
Going to front desk and the person is just not a people's people, you know? It's bad for business. Spencer, thank you so much. I've had a lot of fun, which is the manifesto for SLS. So it's been a pleasure sitting with you, getting to know you, and also discussing the plans for SLS in the future.
Thank you so much.
We wish you the best of luck.
Pleasure meeting you.
Likewise.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you for your time.